You do now. Everybody here. All right, well, I'd like to welcome everybody here tonight for the October 25 meeting. I'd like to point out that the escape exits out through the doors closed. It's closed because there got a bounce house and some other stuff down there. And everybody should have a chance to be able to be heard, and you're not gonna hear it with all the kids having a good time. So, the only reason why the door's closed, if somebody wants to come in, we'll let them in as long as we got enough chairs. The IDs on the wall, if it's needed, go down the hall, there's exit down there, and there's an exit over here. At this time, I'd like to tell everybody, if you have any electronic devices that may beep, talk to you, or anything else, turn them off. It's important to get all the conversations right, okay, as part of the minutes of the meetings, all right? And nobody wants to compete with someone taking a phone call. So it's good for everybody. And with that, everybody had a chance to look at the September 2nd planning board minutes. We had a chance to look at the minutes from the other meeting. Okay, and if there's any additions or deletions. And we can do the roll call right now, and then I got a comment to make.
Okay, Sharon Steigerwald.
Here.
Steve Rock.
Here.
Dave Martin.
Here.
Rich Slider.
Here.
James Nesbitt.
Here.
With Ed Nelson and Steve Bittner, excused for
Both
leaving.
excused for good reasons. All right. They had no additions or deletions, okay, for comments on last month's meeting. I made contact with them and gave them approval to be excused for tonight. All right, so there's 5 of us, and Pete, that is still a quorum.
It is.
Okay. That being said, once again, is anybody that's here tonight give any additions, deletions, or corrections?
I'd like to make a motion for approval of the minutes. September 2nd meeting.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Now we can call the votes.
Sharon Steigerwald.
Yes.
Steve Rock.
Stay.
Dave Martin.
Yes.
Rich Slider. James
Yes.
Nesbitt.
Yes.
With the abstain, we were still within quorum.
Yes.
Please note that. All righty. First item on the agenda, if I haven't forgotten, is for Healing Hearts with horses at 3022 Brick Schoolhouse Road. We had a public hearing. Okay, we tabled it for some additional information. Okay. We've been provided with some information in your packet. Is there anybody in the audience that was at the public hearing that has any concerns or anything about this application for the horses of healing? Because I did close the public hearing before. We received some additional photographs depicting stable areas, driveway, parking, which are part of the driveway, the paddocks. There's a picture of a lime green pond.
Can I come closer?
Sure.
Thank you. It is a lot of you.
You were hiding. So we received this packet with a bunch of photographs and stuff. This is Everybody had a chance to look at those? It's all existing conditions. I believe there was some concerns last time we looked at this. One was the building too close to the pond. Is that one of the items?
From my notes, I mean, this goes back
2 months.
from, December, my initial letter.
Right.
It was difficult to discern whether variances or whatever permits are needed because we don't have a quality drawing drawn to scale. It was brought up again in August, that we don't have a drawing that accurately shows what's proposed, what's existing. And we require setbacks, we don't have scale drawings, we don't have site. So, that's, my comments the same from January and August, that, or December of last year and August, that we don't have a scale drawing.
We're not building anything.
Pardon me?
It might be, so back when Daniel had proposed it, I think in December, I think they were trying to build an indoor or something. This is a different proposal. It's a special, application. I'm just gonna be using the outdoor lighting system.
Okay, but we still don't have a drawing that depicts what's there.
We did some of them.
An engineer
I
drawing?
can give you this, but I don't know if that, he had sent
Yeah,
it.
that's what I was referring to in August. We can't discern setbacks and
Right, you don't have any dimensions.
not accurately enough to scale. But it's the same thing.
Number of parking spaces and what have you.
Correct.
So that's what we need, is we need an engineer drawing, not just photographs. Okay? And I believe that was brought out in the August meeting. I don't have those minutes with me.
I keep communicating with my brother-in-law, because it's his property, but it's my program, so I don't ever know what's going on until like a week before the meeting is coming. So I had brought that up several times, but I thought you guys had suggested that I think it was you gave me the advice of making binders, so I did
Right.
do the thing, everything that you've asked, I
There's
just,
a binder that would show your business.
yeah, and it's got
That's
the
just
business
one,
plan
that's
and
just
all.
one part of it.
Yeah, but it would just, I think if we could communicate with me regarding my business, that would be really helpful. Because it's, that he was getting a variance, so that was his part of his property, but the business end of it is, it's in my social, it's my,
Right. He's here tonight?
he's not here tonight, he's working. I don't think he thought he had to be here tonight, I think because of
Is the owner of the property and you being the leasing or whatever you are?
Sure.
Okay, he still has, he got the zoning variance for the number of horses.
Thank you.
But part of that is, horses have a waste stream, so you need to know where the manure pile is gonna be, how often is it empty, where does it go? Does it go on the grazing land across the street? Okay. Showing the area which would be parking, how many vehicles would be there.
And you want it like professionally, right?
It's
So I did
called
bring a
it's
parking lot,
called
but
a
it-
design professional,
Okay,
yes.
thank you.
Okay.
I want to hear it right straight from your mouth, because I will do it, sir. I just need to know it too.
People, maybe we take things for granted sometimes, but so does people out there who drive the photo, but not necessarily.
Okay.
I'm gonna leave this, leaving this table for, I don't know, Keith, how many more days do you think we should give them? Get back to us with a drawing for the next meeting. Or
Realistically, if they're gonna hire a professional engineer, I would think they would be able to get the work done bare minimum in a month or so.
You'd be very surprised how good I am.
Up to you, but, professional engineers have to do site visits and all the rest, it's gonna take a little time to do the work. So I would think 2 months out would be more realistic than that.
JP?
I would let the applicant, if they can pull it together, let them, put it together. And if they don't have the application, the application
What we have
for the
to
next
do
meeting,
is
then
dismiss it if it's not done within their timeframe.
Sure, I like it. I'll vote it.
2 months is a good time frame to do something for somebody else's help.
Thank you. So I just drop off to, do I come to another meeting, or do I drop off the, document like the tea?
Well, I tell you what, you can deal with Cheryl. Okay, and let's try to put this together in the next couple of months. It's been tabled. Do I need another motion to,
Yes. So table it to the, December meeting at the moment.
December? Would someone like to?
Make a motion to table the application till December 1st.
Okay. Second.
I just wanted, along with everything else that you're doing, that there will be a conservation development permit, so I don't want that to get lost at some point.
There's a creek that runs through that portion of that. It's
Well,
within the
there's a
corridor.
wetland,
Yeah, there's wetlands there, so it has to show the wetlands and.
so I don't wanna forget that, and then all of a sudden say, wait, we still need this, I would like to, make sure it's all there together.
So we,
Thank you.
okay.
So
I
that's.
thought all that stuff was.
For the pond.
I thought all that stuff was clear before, but we have motion. Yeah. Second? Yeah.
Sharon Steigerwald.
Yeah.
Steve Rock.
Yes.
Dave Martin.
Yes.
Rich Schleifer.
Yes.
Yes.
All,
If they're not doing anything wrong, they need a conservation.
So you're on the pond.
They're not building anything. They aren't building anything.
Yeah, I
The
saw
conservation
that.
code involved. This is different.
If they're not doing anything, to develop, and if they're not developing.
You might not.
You're bringing up that.
Why would you need a conservation code? Is that in the permits?
I mean, if getting stuff use permit for a change of use,
No, I want to give it to you, it's more detailed.
there's use differences there. I mean,
Just,
that's
curious.
the easy part. If they have a site plan, the conservation development permit is
Not
not.
a big deal, I just curious.
But, I mean, I guess I would argue that if you're changing from pasture, open land, and there suddenly have animals on it, it's gonna impact the wetland, or it could impact a stream or whatever, so
Right.
it's a change of use. I mean, I'd have to read through the development, through the conservation development.
at the very least, just to get some more discussion for it to be made.
And, Steve, we did bring this up in December of 2024, that there is a conservation development, or there's an overlay district, and the conservation development permit should also be considered with this proposal, so it's not, we're not throwing anything new on the plate.
Yeah, I just thought it was because originally they were talking about building an indoor arena, and that's why they.
I think it's more of the expansion of the use.
Can we get a copy of that, this December?
Yeah, because I have no idea what happened in December. That's an entirely
It
different
was sent to the
business.
town.
Yeah, I can print it out. I'm sure it's better than emails.
Okay.
I mean, I'll give you my copy. Like it? Sorry for the read.
And also the fence in the backyard is like just a few feet from the pond.
Right.
They had to come through that.
And the other thing is, there's a lot of horses on this road. So it's in, talking to people that have horses and stuff, there's actually a way to figure how much property you need to raise them, and afford the height of a manure pile and
No,
everything else,
yeah.
so, okay.
It's a very active effort every week. It really is, because otherwise you're right, it's negligence and stuff.
I have horses, I don't have
We're-
anymore.
I would invite every one of you to come out to the property because it's beautiful, it's special, and
This
I will
keeps up,
continue to
might
fight
need
for
help.
it, because it's very, our community needs it, to be honest.
Well, I was there this afternoon.
Yeah, it's wonderful,
And,
it's very well
I
taken.
was concerned with the drop off to the north. It was pretty good grade there. So I was concerned about the livestock and the horses, where they're going and where the material's going. And,
You mean the manure pile in the back?
well, before it becomes a pile, we don't know when they're going to do their duties. Those are part of the. It's very close to the pond. And there's quite a grade there.
I think you might be, I think I know there was like 2 piles near the gate, they used to dump there. I think we dump farther back now, but I think I know exactly where
Well,
you're
they
talking
were,
about.
this was, 10 after 2 this afternoon, and all the horses were on the north side.
I see it. Yeah, I was just,
Yeah,
yeah.
they were on the north side, and that's what I was looking at, because the photos we had showed an arena. And it's like, where the hell are they gonna put the arena? And where are the horses gonna go when they go?
The arena's already there. We already are using that arena.
You're using it as.
There's a wooden arena
It's
there.
not an
Yeah.
enclosed arena.
It's already there. That's why I think, I'm like, I think we're just not on the same page. There's, yeah, it's not, it's already there.
It wasn't a
Arena
in the
is-
back of the building.
It's 60 by
That's
100.
not there
That's,
anymore.
yeah,
It's
there's a,
within 5 foot of the pond.
that's the one, that's the area. That's the
Yeah.
area. So we would need to bring that up, is what you're saying.
Okay, well, originally you were gonna build
I think so, yeah, that's
Yeah.
what I mean, that, just, I wish,
So this-
whatever he
so
was
this-
doing in December, I'm not.
we did
feeling
a hard left on this vote.
it. I do think I'm doing things very differently, for sure. But It's, yeah,
Well,
the
we're gonna-
existing arena is what I plan to use, and I just utilize the outdoors, honestly. It's my whole effort is detrimental health work.
We're gonna move on. Okay? Here's some contact with Cheryl, if there's some new information out there, as it comes in, we'll digest it.
Okay.
Okay? Thank you very much. Okay. Okay, second item on the agenda is a Mylar signing. I'm going to, for the Eastman subdivision, 1410 Roosevelt Highway, which is a singular lot of the subdivision by the name of Eastman subdivision that was approved. Probably was approved before, what's the first, those maps, Cheryl? Is it the original drawing that you had in the original?
This is a Mylar he provided, it looks like, 2019.
It was on that one, now the Mylar, what's the original date on that?
This one is July 10th, no, August 2nd of 21. It's already been signed once.
So you can sign what?
Yeah.
Who's the author of that? That Schultz? Somebody here? Schultz?
Not from Schultz, but on behalf of myself.
Okay.
It's the only property.
The owner of the property. Okay. When a subdivision is approved, a multi-lot subdivision, usually what happens is a conglomeration of a bunch of lots, and there's an overall site plan, and there's an overall drainage plan, and all that other stuff. If movement is made and a building permit is pulled on one lot in that property, okay? Within a year, the subdivision takes on a life of its own, correct me if I'm wrong. You might not get that second lot for a couple of years, it's economy driven. And if the design of the lot, any of the lots that were left in that, changes of a, well, not trivial matter, like in your, the way you put it is probably, it's not substantial, it's more trivial, okay? Then you really don't need to re-sign the Mylar, okay? With the caveat that the changes to it, which was forced by the installation of the water main, and you took the well off since it was original, okay? The first floor elevations that were held on the original plan, okay, are being adopted by the same grading thing, the same elevation. Could be the first floor elevation, top of rock, whatever that reference is. I mean, none of that changes. The only thing that just changes is a house that's in a box. And the box is the setbacks in the front, the rear, and the two sides. All right? And once you hold those setbacks, that's a box. And on the design, we take artistic license, the engineers, okay, and surveyors, and anybody else is doing their thing, and they show a drawing of a footprint of a house. How the heck do they know when they first do it, what footprint of that house is gonna be? Okay. So as long as it's within that box and your elevations for drainage and your stormwater calcs and all that other stuff's the same, okay? I don't really think we need to re-sign a plan. It's already there, it's trivial, and it's on us to decide whether it's trivial. So, the next person I'm gonna ask is our engineer, Jake.
Well, there's,
You see the same things I did.
yeah, there's three basic changes. The well's been omitted. The footprint has changed slightly and the grading plan has changed slightly. Because there's no longer a proposed walkout basement on the back side. When do changes compound is the problem, right?
Right.
How many little changes make it worthwhile to the point where you say, that's different enough, and that's difficult for Cheryl to determine when she gets the building.
Right.
So, to me, there's cumulative enough changes. They prepared a new site plan. I don't have any engineering concerns with the changes. It gets difficult for Cheryl when a new building permit comes and there's multiple
Yes.
changes. She has to ask the question.
And that's why we're here tonight.
Yeah, and it's some, you just have to leave the building department's discretion. Others, when there's numerous little changes, at some point you may want to have a second look. So,
I don't want to see the final plat changing each and every time a new house comes in, because when a new house is built, you get an instrument location map, and it shows the footprint of the building. What we should be seeing on that instrument location map is the first floor elevation that confirms to the original site plan that was approved without any more additional engineering. I'm trying to make this easier. It ends up being a class. And the design professional or a professional presenting needs to verify that the instrument location map significantly confirms to the grading plan. So we're gonna get to the town, as part of the instrument location. When that's all said and done, we're fine, we don't need to kill any more trees. All right? But in order for it to be fine, I guess I've got to ask everybody that looks at this plan and see if they're trivial and insignificant enough, driven by the addition of potable water, and the building of a house footprint that is not like on a site plan. Does that make sense? Do you want to take a stab at this year?
Seems like that many changes to me, I thought they were pretty trivial, but again, as Vicky said, if they add up to something significant.
If you were to compare all of those that we have there, the only thing that changes other than this is scale.
I have no concern if the changes are minor. I mean, taking away a walkout, adding a water line. To me, it's trivial compared to the original engineer.
David?
It's all minor. It's just, you're not doing anything major here, are you?
No,
No.
the idea was to keep it.
Square footage is the same, and
It was smaller than the original square footage that was on the
Less
box.
invasive. And
No problem with it, as long as we realize that our clerk will be watching, you know, if it's something that's already ordered, there you get a little note about stop work. So that's also a program.
The big red line.
so anyways, that's where I'm going with this. All right, do we need a motion to say the changes to this site plan with this lot? 1410 Roosevelt Highway, and trivial enough in nature that we don't need to re-sign another Mylar.
Frankly, I'm of the mind, we're here, we have the Mylar, you have no objections to modifications, why not just approve it, re-sign the Mylar and call it a day? I understand the rationale, but since we're already here, why not?
I don't want people to keep doing this another 8 or 9 laps, so it's, doesn't need to happen unless it's something more than trivial. Okay, it's my take on it.
Okay. I mean, certainly swapping out a well for a water service because there's water available
Right.
is kind of obvious. So, your fault.
Well, I'm sure he paid for it when the thing signed. Okay.
Yes.
And, I just don't want to do an unnecessary work that we don't have to do. And when we need to do it, bring it back to the design professional, and if they have any questions, they can call me. Or they can call Cheryl or anybody else. Okay. So, we'll sign it, I'll sign it for this, but I'd still like to have a motion saying that changes to this drawing still confirms to the original site plan. So we wanted to, I think you did that well enough that we just seconded. Okay, second. I'll make the motion. He's gonna second.
Okay, Sharon Steigerwald. Steve Law.
Yeah.
Dave Martin.
yes.
Chris Slider.
Yes.
James Francis.
Yes.
And we'll sign this at the end of the meeting.
Thank you. Okay. Next one is Denali Excelsior, 2865 Roosevelt Highway. Commercial site special plan approval for the construction of a 7-unit self-storage, 47 units, right?
Yeah, it was
Seven
supposed to say 7 buildings, yes, and even that's up for discussion, we're just here for concept.
It's this concept. So, you got some information from, working for DBS companies.
Yes, sir.
They're treating you well.
They are?
It's been a while.
Yeah, thank you.
Take a look at this short environmental assessment form. looking at this. Yeah, there's sketch plan. And, you wanna put this up on the bulletin board?
That's mayor.
That's our drawing.
That's a separate one. We just submitted the 11 by 17s. I don't have a display model, but it's a
This is
pretty,
just the sketch plan, so.
yes, sir. So it's pretty straightforward. It's a 6.5 acre parcel just south of here, short walk. We have two frontages, and we're preferring to do only one access point. We prefer to use Route 19. This is one of the discussion points we'd like to have with you. Get your feedback on that and a couple of other things before we go into hard design. It's 7 buildings as drawn right now, but Chris, the developer, has talked about maybe combining these buildings. And in order to make that determination, I'd like to have a conversation with your fire marshal to determine what kind of access he or she would like to each part of the building. It's different by every town. So as you can imagine, that really impacts our layout. There's a very well-defined wetland to the east that we're avoiding altogether, not disturbing, not filling at all. We recognize your vegetative buffer requirement and want some feedback on that, if there's any particular species you want to see planted, or if we're given the liberty to kind of choose those and maybe use the topsoil that's scraped from the building areas and use that for berms to improve buffering, that sort of thing. Like most mini storage, this will be gated out near the access, so only access to this will be by renters. Lighting is very limited. We typically recommend very minimal lighting during the night, and then have motion activated lighting in the event that somebody were to try to access it after hours, something like that. We want to draw attention to it, but not be a nuisance to the neighbors. Stormwater management has actually been sized for the amount of impervious that you see there. We're proposing a bio retention area that follows drainage patterns. And like I said, this is concept only. We're looking for your feedback, what you like, what you don't like. I don't know how many mini storages you have in town, but the things that you like about those, the things that you don't like about those. And we want to come back in with a hard design that you like.
After the last meeting that you were here, we bounced this back and forth for a while. Okay, you had another meeting with a bunch of people that were in the audience outside. Did some of this stuff come as a result of your contact, or was it a very fresh thought they had you do that? As long as you didn't make them stand in the corner and say yes.
Yeah, no, it was a very positive meeting, and I feel everybody left that meeting feeling very good, and we actually spoke to them about what they would like to see. One of the issues they have now is they used to look out and see, forest, and now they see concrete left over from Bob's Grocery and other fill that's been left unvegetated for the most part. So we talked to them about what they'd like to see, and there was a small problem with, they said drainage wasn't running as well to the east, but I mean, that's no problem at all. And we actually, I thought maybe there'd be more of them here, but yeah, no, we plan on working with each one of them, to fit their needs, and we respect that it's their backyard, and, they have to look out.
Okay, there's probably some input needed on the feds and the state and wetlands issue. You're more concerned and what have you, that'll probably be something that's going to have to be explored. I don't know what it is. It might come out tonight when we're talking. So, Jimmy, because this is a wetland, we believe it's a federal wetland, isn't it?
It's a federal wetland, yes.
It's not in the middle of the trip. It's not in the middle of the trip, but it's adjacent to one. So we're gonna need some input from you folks.
I drove both Roosevelt and 19, and I couldn't figure out how to access the site, so I it from a distance.
We could arrange a sidewalk.
Have you met any issues from the conservation
I
board?
think I have.
Okay, that's very good. All right, thank you. JP,
We prepared a comment letter in August, basically noting that, full site plan is required. They've since retained, DDS and we have a concept plan now, so we're further along than we were. To address as comments as far as engineering goes, clearly, I think an entrance onto 19 is a much better choice than onto 18. It's further from the intersection and makes for a safer ingress and egress. Other than that, the buffers and things we are going to be input from the board, but as we progress, we're going to want a full grading plan, stormwater calcs and stormwater plan, erosion controls, utility lighting plans. As Ed alluded to, getting a harder look at the on-site traffic patterns for safety and emergency access, the location of the gates and the buffers, and parking requirements. So, Ed knows what he needs to do to progress.
I do, but you brought up a great point about parking. Typically what we do for these, we don't provide on-site parking other than for somebody to be able to park their vehicle adjacent to their unit as they load and unload. There's not an on-site office for this sort of thing. There's no meeting, there's no need for additional parking. So it's either we accept that as part of this operation or perhaps seek an area variance. That would be the plan.
That seems to be in line with most mini storage. I mean, you may have one helper come to unload a vehicle or something, but
The only time you have a parking issue is when the
loading and unloading.
TVs roll in. Okay, you're having an auction.
So,
I know I'm thinking about it. As far as engineering, any more questions about?
no, I think the biggest thing is gonna be the buffering issues, because there's the residential properties nearby, and addressing the grading and drainage, which will progress as we get from here to the Marathon.
Does a prospectus go out on something like this for user, as a yardstick for flammable materials? What can be stored there, what battery, what gas, all that stuff?
That's what we'll have in our
Will there
contract.
be a copy of that in the plan?
We can certainly put one in there.
I would think, when you go through the public hearing and stuff, that you've addressed all the issues that might be, especially because you got residential, in a couple sides anyways. And I think the one that goes out to Route 18 isn't it kind of shared with the other place?
No, we have our own separate entrance. It does neighbor, Quickly's, if that's what you're referring to.
But the entrance out on Route 18, is that navigable by a vehicle?
It is not, there's no culvert, and, we would need one to, we would need one in, is 18th state?
They're both
Okay.
state.
Oh, they're both state.
So when you're talking to the fire marshal, you have to talk about the limitation you might have.
19 does have a curb cut out already. The entrance does. I think that got put in when Cobb's reformed all that right
But some of that's probably gonna have to be fixed. Okay, Keith,
I have nothing to add at this point.
can't do any secret because it's just a sketch plan. I would believe it would probably be a right, too, right?
I would think unlisted.
Unlisted, yeah. Secret. do something a little bit more novel tonight. We asked some of our board members, so we're gonna do it in reverse order. So everybody gets a chance to benefit from somebody else's stuff. So,
Pick me.
I got you. I got you on speed dial. Let's go.
Question I have is, you're saying 6 buildings of 40 foot by 115 and one 40 by 100. What's the elevation? How tall are these going to be? Are they going to be single-story buildings?
Yes.
And are they going to be as just one void area? In other words, if Caleb's farmer needs storage, could he rent the one building?
I would think perishables would not be allowed to be stored there. I guess one of the things would be excluded.
Hay would be, hay and things like that, it just, so it's not gonna be, what I'm picturing is.
It's not a barn, no, they're individual units, so the word unit was really misleading. It's 7 buildings with multiple units inside the, units within each
Inside the
building.
building.
Yeah, and those vary, I've done them as wide as 25 feet and as narrow as 5 feet. And anywhere in between, a lot of it's market driven.
Could you store a car in there?
Potentially,
Or a boat?
yep.
There's an awful lot of driveways with boats and yards most of the year. Yeah, I can see what that is. What you can do. Okay. So subdivided buildings.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, some of the unit, they have all different sized doors. They're not gonna be all the same size, like some of these buildings, you see that every door is the same.
So
Is this gonna be the same?
the final design is probably gonna have many of the same doors side by side by side. Most commonly, on the end caps, we'll do pedestrian type of doors. They're smaller units. And then on either side are usually garage type of doors, like you see on the TV shows. Exactly the same sort of.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, but like automatic sprinkler system?
It's a conversation with the town. More often than not, they're not sprinkled, because there's not a water supply brought to them. The only electric is for internet connection, because they can control everything. Somebody doesn't pay their bill, they're locked out. We can do it all online. That's why we don't have to put an office in there. We don't have to go there and fill out paperwork to run everything's done online.
So if somebody doesn't pay their bill, they can't get into the unit.
Correct.
Okay.
My only question we're looking at is that the farthest buildings to the east reflect in close proximity to the wetland. So are they within 100 feet of that wetland?
Are they within what?
100 feet of the wetland?
They are, but a federal wetland doesn't have a 100-foot buffer. Only the state wetlands do.
The only caveat is that the town's conservation overlay district,
Which was one of my things that I wanted to work out tonight. Do you have any EPOD issues that I have to?
there is a
concern with?
conservation overlay district for construction distance from the federal wetlands.
Okay.
And I thought still, because I just dealt with it,
Well,
a federal wetland, that still you need to verify with DEC that they don't have any concern over it.
yeah, so the new, as of January, the wetland regulations have come out that have what they call a jurisdictional determination area, or an informational boundary. So if that's not shown on the sketch plan, it's something we'll have to deal with. But, yeah, there certainly is something to look at with our conservation overlay district and that informational area as to whether we need to proceed. Or have them proceed with some.
Is there a chance for relief from construction within that district?
Well,
Does it depend on the building materials or what's allowed in there?
again,
Going back to the prospectus?
you're the first, your conservation overlay district is probably the most restrictive. So that's gonna be probably the guiding control as to whether you let them get into that, if their plan impacts that wetland. So the idea of that 100-foot or 200-foot buffer that conservation overlay district has is for you to look at it and say, okay, the grading plan illustrates it's this development in that district is not gonna impact or have an adverse impact. Just like when we do a shatter or fence or whatever in all the conservation overlay.
Good information, we touched on this before. You folks have been notified of it, of course, a little bit earlier on. So knowing when the drop dead date is,
When we do our site visit with Conservation Board, we can point out points along here, like where the buildings are relative to what we're seeing as wetland, because we haven't been to the site, there was historic fill placed there, so it's not a lush, very vibrant wetland area, it's right next to it, so.
we get a pretty good yardstick and what you need to meet within the area on our conservation board. The other part of that is something you'll do with your plan, okay? And it's good to know how that.
And some of these things could be handled in an engineering way, like how the site is graded.
Yes.
And if drainage is graded to their bio retention area in lieu of just shedding off into the wetland area.
Right.
Those would be mitigation measures that we
And
could
that might go hand in hand with the rear yard drainage issue. If there's some site issues going easterly as well as northerly, okay? And that might be the way to look at it. But that's for the guys with the engineering degrees and the guy we're talking about to work out. Legal wise. I know you look at things from a business point.
And, what materials are we using?
Well, we haven't even gone that far yet. So anything from like a Morton style type of building to CMUs with masonry unit blocks and anywhere in between. I gotta be careful not to spend his money.
I was thinking it was metal goods.
Yeah. That's most common, and then they come in a whole variety of colors, we can put earth tones that kind of blend in a little better.
All be placed on a slab.
Okay. Keith?
I have nothing to say.
Somebody had done before, I was wondering if they generated anything. This access out on Route 18, is that an easement? Is that an easement?
No, he owns the frontage, but we don't propose to actually use the 18 access. We want to do only one out to Route 19.
So what are you gonna do with that property?
Maybe we'll trade it. Because right now, when the owner to the west came in, they left all their sill and everything's sort of gummed up right there. So we started cleaning it up and the neighbors got a little restless, so we just held off and waited. And then we spoke to them when they were here last time, just like, hey, we're just trying to clean it up. and make
You're
it
not gonna look at any dead pine trees, are you, on a hill?
We're just gonna try and dress it up best we can.
Sure.
Are you able to put me in touch with the fire marshal?
I'm gonna do that. Yeah. Do it for someone.
You better find a time for you to sit down and talk and have minutes of this meeting and stuff. Okay? Oh, what's your time frame?
I'm gonna let Ed answer that, because I'm all over him, so.
I would say it's gonna be most likely a spring build. He'll probably wanna get going this winter if we get a late winter. But realistically, it looks like a spring build, but we're always eager to keep going.
Well, this is October. New regs come into place first of the year. You want to be put for a public hearing for final approval. yet in this calendar year, or do you want us to give you a time frame?
You give me the timeframe, let's get under the new regs, or the old regs. Excuse me.
Well, you'll probably still have to have some taken into account knowing that it's coming up,
Yeah,
okay? I don't know how much you avoid because we have regs
mhm.
ourselves, so. Think you'd be ready for November?
I wouldn't be able to have full design plans by then?
How about December?
Yeah, for sure. How far in advance of the meeting do you need then? The publication's what, 10 days?
2 weeks.
2 weeks?
If we get them in, we're sending out the information to get for review a week earlier than we have done. And, we really would like to have as much information that can be reviewed by our legal staff as well as our engineering staff, okay, within that time frame. So if there's some T that needs to be crossed or I to be dotted, it's done by the night of the meeting, and we don't have to fold it over to another one because then that's dangerous. Okay, and get a catch-22. So, I mean, I'd like to hear back from our people too, so
Sure.
it's a matter of having them have time to, we've moved everything up, we've also changed some of the review times that we have, okay, and other things, both in zoning and stuff, try to be more applicant friendly.
Well, I'll do everything in my power to get them to you by your first meeting in November, which I think you only have one meeting a month, right? So if I get it to you by the meeting, then they could be distributed here, you have a full month to go through it, see if that
And
can
you also
December.
have time to give our engineer look at what you submitted. and
Yep.
Maybe have the blessing and if there's any easements or anything else that needs to happen.
I appreciate that.
Sure.
All right. So, is there a sanitary sewer that runs through that side there? That's up on, the new,
It goes through quickly.
it's out from along.
Yeah, it zigzags up. Oh, it goes through.
Yeah, I think it goes through my driveway. out
Through the
to
driveway.
19, doesn't it?
Oh, yeah, it goes right
Yeah.
across the whole thing.
Yeah.
All right, I guess we.
It's out on my driveway.
It's been there for a long time.
Yeah.
You're the new one, it's been there a long time. All right, I don't think we have to do any motions except for, the date of the, public hearing. Good?
We can get there.
Okay. Get something to look at. Right, that's what we're gonna do.
If you're trying to accelerate things to get it done before the end of the year, you pretty much will have to schedule it for December.
Yeah. Would like to make a motion to put it on the agenda for the December.
Make a motion that for Denali Excelsior, 2865 Roosevelt Highway for, public hearing, for retreat, for the public hearing, December 1st.
Second.
Sharon Steigerwald.
Yes.
Steve Law.
Yeah.
Dave Martin.
Yeah.
Chris Schreiber.
Yes,
James Smith.
yes. Okay, very good.
Thanks for the feedback.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
All right, thanks for coming.
Thank you.
Next item on the agenda. Is an application for a property mortgage for Yesu Jensen. Did I say it right? And Lynn Malone at 718-750 Martin Road. No problem.
Property merge, lot line adjustment.
And you are?
My name is Rich Schmeier, representing the kids in this endeavor. It's a piece of property on the east side of Martin Road. It's between church and yeah. My clients have purchased a small portion of the property from the loans. The way the lot is shaped, Mr. Lowe's lot is shaped right now, it's kind of weird. It crosses over a drainage pattern and then kind of does a hook around the north end of the property. What my clients are proposing to do is use that swell as a dividing line, a natural course Yep.
You want to put that up?
Can I extra copy? 16.
This will use the boards for that.
Yeah.
If it doesn't work, we use your other one. It's good for one sheet, so explain what you were explaining.
So the Malone property down here comes up, wraps around like this and comes back. The clients look at this property right here, what they're proposing to do is push this drainage swell, which this is right here, up to, it really goes right to that corner. And what they want to do is, purchase this portion of the property, use that swell as a natural dividing line. Increase the property. Mr. Malone's property is part of the subdivision, that's why it's being called a subdivision, we're going to do a resub here. This dashed line is the line that currently is their north line, that's the line that's going to go away.
So 250 is the top portion, and you're 7.5 back.
This little,
On one side of the trip with riparian rights. How do you tell? Because
Yeah.
it changes.
I walk down, so it's not like a black.
It's not one condition.
Well, I've been out there a couple of times, and it hasn't been wet every time I've been out there.
Okay.
It does have marshland in it. And that's definitely a low area, no doubt about it.
Okay, so. Maybe a conservation order, and then on that eventually.
We're not building anything, we're just swapping a line.
When the subdivision comes in, is that gonna provide more property than can be? Or,
Developable?
yeah,
You know, they might have a shot at it, but it's a long shot.
yeah.
This one's got nothing, not written on the permit to do anything.
Yeah, I saw that. Okay, Janine, question?
Because it said they're not building anything.
JP?
No engineering concerns.
No legal concerns.
Sure. Okay, public hearing, we have a merger, does not need a public hearing.
The merger does not require a public hearing.
Okay. So. We can act on this tonight?
I don't think it's actually a merge. It's a merge implies you have two lots and you're making them into one lot.
Okay, so
This is, to me, is a lot line adjustment.
Which also
We have-
does not require.
We have two lots now, we have two lots in the back. Yeah, it's a lot line adjustment.
All right, so we have to call this by a different name.
Correct.
It still would be filed,
It's gotta be fine.
filed map, so subdivision is appropriate to call it that, even though we're not creating a lot. But he has to bring something to county to show the lot line.
If they get a deed executed, yeah.
So it requires a
Do
public
it?
hearing.
No,
No.
no, what it requires is a resolution for type 2 secret.
You can waive the public hearing because you're not creating any new lot.
Even though he's going to take a Mylar downtown. Under
I would
our
hope so.
code,
I would hope so.
we're calling it a non-subdivision.
Again, somebody go to the door for the nighttime. We should therefore resolve that this is a type 2 action. Do I have a second?
Second.
Now, someone like to say this is also black line adjustment? there was two lots before and there's two lots now. That's what we were, based on what divided it.
Make a motion to approve the property merge with Sir Jensen, Wayne Malone, 718-715 Park Road, where there are two lots, and there will still be two lots. Tax account number 014.030-02-003 and 014.03-002-004.11. Application for property merge and site.
Second. All those agree?
Sharon Steigerwald. Steve Law,
Yes.
Dave Martin,
Yes.
Chris Snyder,
Yeah.
Jim Hensley.
Yes.
Thank you. I'll be back once I get that meeting worked out. Have a good night.
Hi, Rich.
Yes.
These two down here have a good time.
I know, it's wasting somebody else's time.
I don't have to do this, I had them now.
Okay.
Yeah, you remember, right?
Next item on the board is a conservation corridor development permit for Cam Chambliss. It's 7874 Newport Drive.
I'm John Baker. Here in Oklahoma.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I'm just looking for a, just to get a permit to, put a, pad platform at their house where the steps go into it. And then just redact the existing stepping stone on the north side.
Okay. And the small platform is 10 foot by 6 foot, right?
Yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay. Does this meet some of the standards that we see in the neighborhood for conservation corridor uses?
Mhm.
Yeah.
It's really even more of a safety issue too, because the one side entrance, it just comes right out the door and down the steps, and it's gonna be, it'll be like a little platform before you go down the steps.
Is it a danger as it is for the resident?
I believe it is. You see them stumbling over there trying to get the key in. And
Yeah, because there's not enough.
that's why I'm the neighbor next to him, and I offered to build it for him, because I'm worried that they're gonna hurt. And I also designed it in a manner where, because they're elderly in the future, they have to go to a ramp. It'll already be ready for a ramp. And then I made it 6 foot, so we have a 5 foot, circle for a wheelchair. in case they have to use a wheelchair.
So it makes it accessible.
Yeah, I have the 18-inch setbacks on the door.
JP?
No engineering concerns.
No legal concerns, it's a type 2.
Sure. Have you had a chance to look at this application? Making it handicap accessible and it's appropriate for this area?
Yes, it is. I've seen his comments in there. Really, really help us know what we need.
Great, you're kind of quick little sketch here.
No, you did a good job.
Alright. Okay, we're what? I think it's a no-brainer. And what's the work elevation? 45.28. We gotta add in 245.28. Going down, it must be a road. Okay. Gonna be going up tomorrow. It doesn't evaporate. Huge. Looks good.
I'm good.
Sharon?
I don't know, but
Are you sure? For Chambliss and 874 Newport Drive to be a type 2 action on your secret.
One of those, please.
Sharon Steigerwald,
yes.
Steve Law,
Yeah.
Dave Martin,
Yes.
Bruce Slater, James Nelson.
Yes.
Make a motion for approval for conservation corridor development permit for 7874 Newport Drive.
Second.
Hold votes.
Sharon Steigerwald,
Yes.
Steve Rock,
Yes.
Dave Martin,
Yes.
Bruce Slater, James Nelson.
Yes. Okay, very good. Good to go.
Thank you.
Review the show. Okay, next item on the agenda. Because what Steve's waiting to do. For Mr. Frank DiMaria, 7122 Tucker Lane, PM there, for Northside Contracting, to seeking a conservation corridor development permit. They had an 8-foot wide by 100-foot long dock to install within 100 feet of Lake Ontario.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So
When I went to look at this, there's like 3 houses to the east also has a dock. This is similar to that.
Same exact design, yep.
Yep.
Yep, steel
So,
concrete.
as I noted on my, other drawing, it's similar to other docks that have gone on the Bay Shore, and so, we'll see.
Those are kind of doers, there's no water.
Anything different.
Change meeting.
jump in today, it was so hot.
Yeah, we've seen,
I actually ducked my head in a couple times, I'm not gonna lie.
we've seen many applications like this along the lake. Only thing I note in this DEC letter is they are bringing up, and they do CC, the Office of General Services and the Army Corps of Engineers. Is other approvals required? So as long as they're following through with,
Yeah, I think they're kinda waiting on you guys to determine whether you guys are gonna approve everything, and then they're gonna reciprocate.
yeah, I don't remember them having those caveats in their previous no jurisdiction letters.
Yeah,
Seems like they're adding those on, but
yeah.
in any event, no engineering concerns with that amendment.
You know, part of that just leaves us to the LWRP.
Yeah.
In fact, we have conservation for development regulations.
Yeah.
And what they should be doing is saying, okay, it's no jurisdiction, it's your jurisdiction. Because you're somewhat tougher than the states, and everybody knows that up front. So, what do you guys want to do with that? Meets criteria. Design is appropriate, adequate.
It's similar to others in the area.
What do we need to check with is regulation?
Do they need to get, or have you gotten the CHOP permit from the zoning board? It says this is also in the CHOP area.
He's coming over there. It's in 2 weeks, on the 20th.
Okay.
We'll be back. Okay. Okay. 7 o'clock.
Back in 2 weeks?
Thank you.
All right, sounds good.
Okay, so,
Hopefully the Yankees win then.
so this has to be a conditional approval for this.
It should be a conditional approval based on the approval by the land board.
Sure.
No concern.
How much concrete, how thick was that?
It's 5 inches.
Okay.
Yeah, it's pretty sturdy.
That's just basically for walking on. Not
Right.
Driving or anything.
No, that's just the kids and the wife going down, and Frankie's a big guy, but he's not that big.
How you doing? Good.
My wife and I just didn't have anything better to do on
I got nothing,
Start tomorrow.
No, I gotta wait 2 more weeks.
Yeah.
So I got plenty to do.
We'll make a motion, Frank DiMaria, 7122 Thunder Lane, conservation corridor development, permit to be a type 2 action on this evening.
Sharon Steigerwald,
Yes.
Steve Ross,
Yes.
Dave Martin,
Yes.
Chris Snyder,
Yes.
James Smith.
Yes.
Make a motion to approve Constellation Quarter Development Permit, Frank Di Maria, 7122 Tucker Lane, building a 8-foot wide by 100-foot long dock to be installed within 100 feet of Lake Ontario. SR zoning district, tax count number 007.01-1-4, have letter of intent, conservation development permit, DEC letter of no jurisdiction, project plans, aerial photo, and survey.
It's gonna be a conditional approval. And I'm getting to see that.
The condition on the fact that you get to see time.
Okay, Sharon Steigerwald,
Yes.
Steve Ross,
Yes.
Dave Martin,
Yes.
Chris Snyder,
Yeah.
James Smith.
Yes. Okay.
Okay, see you in 2 weeks. That's on the way.
Thank you, thanks, Cheryl.
Just,
Thanks, Chris.
just so
Take
you
care,
know,
guys.
see how it stands for coastal road and over there.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Last item on the agenda. is this review. Okay. All right?
Power.
Bauer, B-O-W-E-R.
All right, for a residential sketch plan application.
I'll take the big thing you unfolded there, and I'll put it up. There you go, the big east side square. This is good evening. I'm Larry Hunter. I'm Vice President of Engineering for Marcus and Associates. And obviously this is Dave Bauer. What this is all about is Dave is selling a lot of the property. He has a buyer for this 41.339 acres, who is Joe Brightman. So it's farmland now, and the farmland later, willing seller, willing buyer. Once upon a time, Arnie Carmichael did a 5-lot sub up here. Back 10 years ago.
1993. So I paid taxes on it for 12 years.
Dave had us combine those 5 lots back into the big piece of the winery. You would now like to make three lots. They're all gonna be over the 2 acre per town code. One of them is a little bit special because the person that would like to buy this lot wanted a 5-foot strip so he could go back into the woodlands. Buck hunting, I don't know what he wants to do, turkey hunting, geese, whatever. But this one is a road frontage, this one is a flag, that's a flag. Previously, there were 4 flags, 1 road frontage. This is an existing home, that's an existing home. This is Dave's existing house, lot 5. And lot 4 is the winery, which by state law has to be 10 acres for a farm winery. And then the south side is 3 new residential lots. The health department has dug through their files and given me all of Arnie Carmichael's plans, so I have all the perk tests and defaults. I can superimpose his work, our work. If I need to do more perk tests and defaults, we will. Back, 10, 12 years ago, I did perk tests out here because Dave was thinking of building the winery over there. They came in very well, but obviously I'll need to do more. So this plat has been prepared to the specifications of Monroe County Survey for filing, so Dave can have a deed and sell this to Brighton. Later on, next spring, you'll see me starting with the northern 3 lots, site plan, house, leach field, the whole shooting match. After that, then I will do the 3 south lots. We have loads of work, and there's no way in the world I can do all of this without 20 other projects crashing. So this right now is just for a transfer of land from Bauer to Brighton. Questions?
Okay, you said the original 5-lot subdivision including lot 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 being Dave's lot.
No, it's not even on there.
No.
The original, he's got a copy.
That is originally what the north end looked like.
Was this, when this lot was filed, this
This was filed
subdivision?
by our department.
Filed, signed, everything back in the day. That was 2 turns back.
So you can see there were 5 lots there.
Was it subdivision?
Yes. That was up here.
Yeah, I realize that, I'm looking for a name. What was the name of the subdivision?
It was called Mayor's Estates.
It was what?
Mayor's Estates, here, I got the paper. Back right there, 2003 was it? So they get a copy of it.
Good.
It is, it is.
How is that?
Because the Flat River, this comes up here, and then what happens, it connects to this 5-foot line, and it goes all the way back to this 10-foot street. Back there. Yeah, so this is all that, and this is where the Warren Creek comes through here. There's a pumping station back here. This is when they were.
It's scary. Arnold was showing us some kind of something, or they should have a picture or something.
That's all it needs is a.
When did Arnie pass?
Before we ever went back there.
Sure, but I was up in Webster. Did you have somebody use for hunting?
That's all he's using.
I remember.
This guy uses it for hunting. He's a retired Marine, if you're looking at it.
I could make more, that's fine.
This is a copy of your copy.
Yeah, that's fine. We can make more.
I think at this time, because it's so, it's not convoluted, but it's a lot going on.
All I want to do right now is just get this done and sell this back piece as a part of it. Just the 41 acres, that's it.
So that's all you're looking to do, right, is just
I just want to transfer it over to
41
the
acres.
shelf, that's it. That's all
You're
I
not
wanna
doing
do.
anything
No.
else with the other lots?
I've been over there for 42 years now. So, I've been there a long time. My mother just died 3 weeks ago. My father is 87 years old, he's got dementia. So I'm running back and forth to Webster for 42 years. And I gotta start winding down, I gotta start getting things, because I gotta go back over and take care of Pops.
And he's got 3 lots in Webster he wants me to work on. Right now, this is, again, Joe Brightly wants to buy it, Dave wants to sell it. We'll come back and do site plan for 3 residential lots according to code. Later, I'll come back and do these 3 lots.
Okay, I'm gonna put 2 guys in the other table on the hospital. So JP, this is a long time.
Yeah, well, it's
I don't know, you want
Larry suggested that's been dissolved in. Because you look in the county, these properties do not exist, the subdivision, if it was approved, has been dissolved, it's no, they're not lots.
This is a map, we did this, we dissolved it. Marcus dissolved it.
Okay,
So Dave,
So-
lower his tax bill.
great. So, we have a clean slate, that's in effect. So, lots 1, 2, 3, and 4, the minimum lot width is required is 250 feet in the RVL. Lots 1, 2, 3, and 4 do not have 250 feet of frontage, so they don't meet zoning. I understand now this 5-foot access, it seems awkward to the rear of that lot 2, but it's not illegal, it's just had to understand the use. Lots 2, 7, and 8, you're creating flag lots that exceed 600 feet in length. The fire code requires a turnout, which you can't fit in just 20 feet. So those flag poles aren't sufficient.
Well, we'll need to put a turnaround back here. We'll need to put,
Somewhere prior to 600 feet.
okay, we need to put a turnaround. The other thing is that between, this is an existing property, that's an existing property. This is owned by Farrell, and this is owned by Shear. It's 247.55, not 250. That it is what it is. It's always been that dimension.
Okay, well, just pointing out,
You're pointing
you're
out.
creating a new lot. Right, lot 4 would be a new lot.
Maybe, but it's been a farm winery.
Understood.
Okay.
And then finally, this lot 8 is landlocked. It shows an easement to it, but you have the ability to give the lot frontage, and there's no frontage. I'm sorry, lot 9.
So lot 9, he also, right, I think Joe Riley's on the far west corner.
You want something on the west.
They own all that land over there.
They come out.
Okay, but it
They go out in
doesn't,
18.
this lot doesn't have frontage.
They got a right of way of 35 feet going back. They have a,
That's not frontage.
Frontage is ownership of land.
but that's how you can just only need, because right now they're renting, even where old man Dollar's place was, they're renting that too. So they own, so pretty much everything around there, they're going, it's like a big U for him right now. I gave him 35 feet, he's all he needs is an access to go back in there.
State law says we don't build, we don't create landlocked lots, and it's considered bad planning on top of that. One thing you could do is rather than give a 35 wide access easement, is just give them 35 feet.
Deed
Yes, thank you.
And we can do that, and then the solution is, so the fact that Riley butts back here and he has frontage on another town road, not me.
They're not the same lots, I don't care if they own the lot next door, it's not the same lot.
Okay, got it. All right, so we can deed this easement, and that takes away from the 10-acre winery, and then we just move this line west. So this is 10 acres, and this 41 acres changes. He gets the acreage of the easement, the former easement, and this line shifts forward. And then he gets road access.
That would resolve the one issue, yes.
Or you could merge the 41 acres to the property you already owns.
True.
So it's one big lot.
That'd be up to the original owner to do that. So,
Right.
it's realized that.
Joe just pointed out to me, because he's still hauling it all the way back here when he comes out, but right now he wasn't sure where he's renting over here at Dollars. He was afraid that if he doesn't purchase this or not, which he planned on, which he was planning on doing, he said, can I get a 35-foot easement for it right now, we can just go out. That was his comment.
Problem is with an easement, and the reason why New York state law is worded the way it is that ownership of the lot has that encumbrance on a lot of 35 feet. They don't want it anymore, okay? And that could go away. Now you got a landlocked lot.
Okay. So we'll resolve that one way or the other.
This is why we have sketch plan counties,
Understand.
okay? As JP says, the original subdivision, it's in the past, okay? So you've got planting season is coming up for him. You wanna not encumber some of your overall property, okay, like selling some lots, maintaining your 10 acres for the winery. Correct?
Correct, so what I wanna try to do is also, back in the day when Carmichael did their original, it was 5 point something acres. So what I wanna do, I know you guys changed it back down to 2 acres, right? So what I wanna do is give 3 acres back to the winery. So that 3 acres goes back to them as well. Because I actually have some vineyard on the back end of it. Because of the rough year.
But you're for everybody.
So, JP, is there an issue with the 3 lots that we've shown on the north end, the former Carmichael?
Yeah, as I mentioned, they don't have 250 feet of width. The minimum lot width is
Width.
250 feet.
Yeah, good.
Okay.
So a flag lot's acceptable, but it has to be after the end of the flag, you have to have a lot width of 200 feet.
So right now, when I'm looking at lot 2 and lot 3, I've got 195, nowhere as close to 250.
And lot 1.
And lot 1 is 138.
Correct.
So this, let's just say, even though Artie had this very cattywampus layout, that layout would not fly today, and this layout is not going to fly. It's going to have to be like one 250-foot wide lot.
It's one way to do it.
I mean, there's no other way. It's going to have to come down 55 more feet, encroach into the winery here, and trim off or do something to get it to work. If I want 250, just look at the back. You're gonna make a big lot and move it forward, so you're gonna have now the width, you're gonna move it forward to get your 2 acres. And then that kind of reconnoiters the 10-acre winery and reconnoiters the 41 acres. Okay.
Without going through the get a area variances. Or do you?
Right, and the issue is these are variances that are self-imposed.
Self-imposed, don't need to be tested. Okay, you created it.
So, my end game then is to pretty much lose all that money that people that earn all those things, throw that out the window, right? And then, because I can't use any of the perk tests and everything I paid for back in the day.
Well, that's why, and it's not, the onus isn't up on us to give you relief. Okay?
Yeah.
State law is pretty clear that something has to, when you subdivide a lot, a building lot, and you got 5 of them, like I explained earlier tonight, when one of them gets built within that approved subdivision, within a year, okay, it becomes a subdivision that kind of has a lick, unless the ownership changes, okay? But if it's not, okay, then you don't have any standing, you gotta come back. And that's what you're experiencing right now. And these are on a tax rolls with different tax account provisions.
Yes, I actually have copies of those taxes.
The-
I paid them for 12 years. I paid taxes, but they're all
But
taxes.
since you combine them, you're not.
No.
According to the county, there's only one tax count.
Correct.
Yeah, so those have all been dissolved. It's one.
So I'm looking at a piece of property, has a lot of lines on it, according to the county, it's not there.
Yeah, that's why it's scratched off. It went away. and that's what you'll see. All right, well, I understand what we need to do. We've been jockeying lines around now for a couple months. We need to jockey them more. I understand what needs to happen. And it needs to come forward, it needs to come down.
So for me to make the sale, for me to make the sale, I have to give them 35 feet.
We don't have a minimum,
What would be the,
For flag,
what would be the
but
minimum?
there's the practicality of you need room for the driveway and potentially a bump out.
And water services, or whatever, project has to go in, potable water to supply to the area.
Generally 20 foot is about,
And that's what we have
it's
on
narrow.
flag, it's 20.
Yeah, that's, but as I was mentioning, Larry, with the fire code, if it's longer than 600 feet, you need a bypass area.
Right.
So you need bump outs prior to 600 feet.
Right, but I'm just talking about just going back to the farmland.
Which is more than 600 feet.
Correct.
So, but they would have to still put, we just want access, so 20 feet would be accessible. Is that what you're stating?
If we make this,
If it's vacant land, I don't know that we have this driveway issue. So the fire code is associated with access for emergency vehicles.
Right, and what would be the
To
example
a
of a
structure.
park?
To a structure. Correct.
Right, so there's no structure.
There's no structure, it's farmland.
Right.
What is ag, does ag and markets rolling come in on here someplace?
I don't think so.
Well, is there another way to have a piece of property encumbered with that easement for farmland purposes only?
I mean, as he suggested before, if Bradley's own the property to the west, and it has frontage, merging, getting rid of that westerly property
They bought
line.
out, they bought all that from Henderson.
If
That's all Henderson.
the easiest thing would be to do is merge with their property to the west. Then you wouldn't have to worry about this 35-foot access. And then what you do with these remaining things you want to go out,
I'm wondering why he asked for the easement.
they wouldn't need it.
I know, but why did he ask for it?
Because
It's easier to take
stuff out of that
Just
lot.
practicality to get out.
Exactly, it's a long haul.
Joe
Probably wants 35 feet so he can load a trailer off the road
That's it.
next to it.
Yeah.
That's
But
probably
you
why
can
he's
still-
asking for 35
You
feet.
can still load it right up on top of the hill here in town.
That way he's not loading trucks in the road.
Sure, but his other land is back here.
so let's just say we do combine.
This comes back in.
This one?
Yeah, Dave Bowers property goes back here. And you bought up to Brightly back there off the Roosevelt.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
own all
the
the way.
Hendershot, the old Hendershot farm.
I own all the way back in there.
Yeah, right, I know where you are.
Yeah, right back in
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
That's where the old, used to be, right there, you know where, so you know where the Mormon Creek is, we got all that, where the hill is right there, so.
Yeah.
Back in.
All right, so
So he took your property and merged it back with that one, he make it one.
You can put that all
But
together,
some-
but
yeah,
the thing
one.
is, when you, like you said, that's a long haul,
Yeah.
go back there.
The one that is shorter way.
if we merge the properties, it's not landlocked. Okay? We can still provide him an easement for his convenience to go in and out without driving, I don't know what,
Then it's
four
just a
times.
convenience.
Right,
Right.
we still provide him an easement as a convenience, he's not
That
landlocked.
works.
He doesn't have to go 4,000 feet to haul something off haul some corn. Okay, and meanwhile, I know what I need to do here, I know how this happens, and I know about turnarounds and.
Yeah.
I think the fire thing has to be at least 12 feet wide for a town of Rush, kind of fire.
And then the bump, there's the bump out.
Yeah, that's
For a
500,
bypass.
500 feet and all that jazz.
Correct.
Anyway, if we have to combine two properties, it just creates more work for surveyors.
So I'm trying to make this deal end, because Brightly's looking to get in there, I think that they want to get in there and tile it out.
You can have a document that use your land. I mean, it's on you.
Called a lease.
Please,
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, we have that.
Okay, I'll have Andy Weedman write it up. He's doing all the land stuff, and then Gordon Dipkins is my corporate attorney, so I can actually have them write it up as such, and then he'll have a lease to go through there for such tax, correct? What you say?
I don't care about the selling of property, not that I don't care,
I
but it's
care,
not
I
part,
gotta
it's,
start winding
I'm
down.
trying to find a way for you to feel a little bit more comfortable, but considering what angst you're going through with your family. But still, and also be able to address the other issues, because the original subdivision, okay?
Yeah.
Doesn't mean anything. To us, is what we can prevail over through making a motion for approval or whatever. Am I correct?
There is nothing to approve here.
Right, that's what I said. Why am I seeing this right now? And it's a good thing, because the way to have it done right this time is what you need to have, that you believe that. That's why we have sketch plans.
Yeah, no, that's fine, we're good.
It's gotta work out to the benefit of you. You're the applicant. So we gotta make sure we do it in the right way.
So if I get the lease agreement to that, if we accept that,
That gives you time to work on the backside of this. Or change your
Yeah,
mind.
I mean, I would have them just buy the properties, because I don't know what his taxes are like, this big piece and that big piece, just make it all one big piece.
It's cleaner.
Yeah.
It's better for the whole agribusiness community. To keep agribusiness, sir.
right,
That's what we're about. So,
And I think too, you wanna look at a tractor trailer coming off that lot, going onto the road, 53 foot trailer.
right now,
No, in the future. So as far as the creation of a gravel driveway or something, I think you'll never know.
there's a gravel driveway there
There's
now.
already a gravel driveway
So
here.
they're already.
The Greenwells are using it now.
Oh,
Greenwells, they've been renting it from me for
Okay.
15, 20 years. They've been renting the back part.
So we superimposed this easement on using an aerial where the gravel truck, and out by the road is a big ditch. So, Dave and I were like, well, there's no way in the world we're gonna put a driveway here, it won't work. And so, he gets what he wants, but then that'll give us good enough. Backing up to like 3 or 4 agenda items earlier, when I doing a subdivision, I draw houses as a box, say 30 feet deep, 36 or 40, and then I put a garage, and the garage is always set back 4 feet. It's a conceptual box, like you said. It's behind the front setback, it's not encroaching on the side, and the rear setback is usually way out there. So, if someone comes along.
You don't have a pond on the property. Arnold would have put a teacher in the pond in a school of fish.
There is a pond on that part.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, that's what he usually explained.
Yeah.
Well, the first time I met him, it wasn't at this town, but it was maybe Child Line, and he came into the meeting with 2 hunting dogs. Okay, so the dogs were nice and quiet, laying on the floor, and I was working for Sal Bell at the time, and there's no way in the world that would form with Sal Bell.
I remember,
He was an actor who could be in the service. Old school, Arnold was. You couldn't help but laugh. Don't show. But anyways, is there a time when you think you can be back to something we do?
do I need to come back and see you guys in November 1st?
Well, you gotta do your lease with Brightly, and then we gotta do some line around.
Well, I was leaving the 20, whatever, 20 feet or whatever it is, the lease.
Or it's still your first, yeah, this one was.
You know, we're not here, we don't really have anything to do with the deal, but making sure that you're covered with what you want to do.
Yeah.
And give you time to do the right thing. And please, if you knock it over with JP ahead of time when you brainstorm, and he's gonna send us a bill.
I don't work for free.
Okay. I won't farm you out. I still get a retirement.
I could do some volunteer work.
Well, your offices are centrally, you can down and visit with
Yeah,
you.
anytime.
Is there anything else from us?
No, good luck.
Take care. Have a good night.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Take it easy. What is your name? Phil. Philbrook. Philbrook, that's right. I remember. Take care. Take it easy.
Now, discussion, we have a couple things for discussion.
One thing for discussion, and that was, from July 2018. We have, 2 lot subdivision over off, like Victor Lane, go back to apartments, and, we split the lots up. A house was built on the one farther in, and this gentleman now wants to build, he brought in plans, but, it was approved back in, 2018. So I'm gonna make sure that, see if you come back for a minor and sign. Cause he thought he could just bring this house plan and build a house, and
There was 2 lots,
it was 2 lots, no.
there was 2 lots approved, the lots are the same.
And the site, there was a full site plan, it wasn't just a subdivision.
Okay, it was a subdivision.
And is
The
it?
one house was built fairly right after it was approved. So the other lots come in, and once again, it has to be, there don't seem to be any changes. Okay, as long as they follow the site plan that was provided with the 2 lots, showing whatever was in the building footprint and the hookup to the sanitary sewer and all that other stuff. Once again, it's not on the onus of the town to make sure that it's done, the actual elevations and drainways and all that other stuff, okay? But the engineering professional that did it, you have to certify the town management survey that it's consistent approval with the original grading plan.
And sadly, we do not have anything that they provided for us for file.
We don't have a file map.
We don't have a map.
I had to give Kyle Rath a signing over, right? Okay. I gave him my copy of an unsigned print that he acted on. But, can't find a copy of the Mylar or Cheryl and I have been looking for what, 2 weeks?
I pulled all the files.
Who prepared it? I remember the name, so
Trying to figure out who did it.
hard to forget.
Richie Mayer.
Was it Richie? His
Well,
brother-in-law?
he represented Kyle before the board.
Okay. Well, who signed the print? Who was the engineer?
He used to work with
He
BDS
only
a
have
lot.
print.
Since he went on his own, he worked with BDS.
So I should contact BDS.
I would see where Rich knows, Rich would know where.
I'll shoot Tammy an email.
But he's worked with BDS, he's worked with, Mahar.
Mahar.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's right.
He's done, worked with both
Right,
those.
and I
since he's-
remember, that was a slugfest.
I don't remember details.
I think Mahar, that's,
Really was.
that's.
It could be, but Rich worked for, did survey work for a couple of different,
Thank you.
after he left, Schultz.
Right,
He
okay.
worked with a couple different engineers.
You have to put more than one mind together in order to get an answer. That being said, the question that I brought about, showing on the instrument survey, that it's consistent with the original approved site plan. Put it on the design professional to do it.
Well, at some point.
Otherwise, you gotta put another item on your list of things you gotta go on with.
At some point, what, a house plan comes in to Cheryl. And then Cheryl's gotta look at it and say, wait a minute, this thing is is nowhere near where they originally proposed it. It's bigger, the garage is on the other side. You know,
What do we need? We need to get this right.
that's when you need site plan revision, and Cheryl's not the only building inspector I work with, and when they get a building plan filing for an older subdivision, that they have to go, geez, does this need to go back in front of the board?
Right.
And it's those cumulative things, you know, listen,
That's
you
what
switch
she's
the
doing.
driveway side, who cares?
Right, and that's what she's doing right now,
Right.
but we don't have anything to compare it to.
And it's a difficult because it's subjective.
I mean, that's one of the things that, her and I get involved with, behind the scenes during the case of the month, when we're waiting for information to come across. You see, she's not a surveyor. I apprenticed as a surveyor.
But almost,
I have a level.
our standard plan notes include things like grading certification.
Right.
That they're supposed to come forward, you know, Cheryl can look, when they're building the house, that looks about right, it looks like the drainage is where they said it was. But if there's ever a question, prior to your CVO, you can always say, I need grading certification, even though the finished floor is correct, those things. But when she gets a building plan, it looks drastically different, then that's a tough call for her to make every time. Some are easy and some are probably not.
Correct. And I felt if we had the ability to ask for that certification, which she does. Okay, what's the legal document that we need to have? Is it the instrument survey that shows a planimetric view? And all the things within that planimetric view, that the front page of the paper, or does it include the grading?
I don't think we've defined it, quite
I think
honestly.
maybe we should.
But I think it's basically something to the effect that the surveyor says, yes, the finished floor was proposed at 525.27, it's at 524.9.
And all that
Close
has to
enough.
be is on that instrument certification. Concern
An elevation certificate.
and elevations.
Or a grading, we call it grading, in our plan notes, it's a
How
grading
you do
certificate.
it, I'm trying to take the onus back off of us, but make it
Yeah.
perfectly obvious to anybody reviewing it, do we need it? Because it was an orphan. One lot's built, one lot's left. 5 lots are built, 7 lots are orphans. Okay, that way it doesn't come back on the town, we don't get it in a lawsuit. So, anybody else? Should we, take that to the town board? Does it have to, is that within our purview to request that? I think it's part of the job description, however it did.
And you can always ask the town board to consider it.
Hmm?
You can always ask the town board to consider legislation, if that's your question.
What are you considering legislating? I'm a little confused in what, because every situation is different. So I don't think everything is gonna be cookie cutter.
That's why it's subjective, and when you
So,
have
like,
one little change and 4 little changes, that it could suddenly, like,
Right.
And it don't have to be a number, it
Right.
can be the amount of.
absolutely.
What the property was designed for.
Yeah.
Number one, I hate those ornate buildings instead of having a building box. Okay, because nobody's selling that building footprint through the realtor out there. And by the time it gets back to that seller, the whole thing we care about, it's built within that box. I don't care about the rear unless you're, 1,000 feet off it. But it's exactly why she asks and brings these things up to us. Not to make
Unfortunately,
it more
it's a case by
difficult, to
case.
make
Yeah,
it,
it's,
You are right.
make it a.
I don't think you can, I don't think it's something that you can code out.
Yeah, you gotta look at it case by case.
That's fine.
Get all the information.
I've seen towns try to do law involving field changes, which is essentially what we're talking about. You know, what's an adequate tweak to the plan? Because in essence, the site plan is the plan. You're supposed to build in at that
Chatfield
elevation.
engineers did a very unique way of doing that. When you went out in the field to do construction verification or whatever, you're given this little red button.
Yeah.
And it says, no change orders. Okay, 'cause
It didn't work,
Then it's gotta go back and have it redesigned, okay, and everything else like that. I did the Bradford project, and I was a bad guy, because Keeler Construction Committee was 179 tweets. We had blocks of concrete 27 feet deep, and 8 feet wide, encased in sewers, that you had to drill through it. Remember that? I had to hide under the auspices of New York State DOT, because it was. But anyways, I don't think it needs to be codified.
No.
I think it needs to be brought up in this area so that the heads of knowledge can look at it, just like we did under that Easton subdivision. Not all cut and dry. That's correct.
That's why we're a planning board. If it was all cut and dry, there wouldn't be a planning board.
Yeah.
Now,
No,
my
but
due
you-
diligence is
We need to
required.
know that that's okay, and that's
Right.
why it's happening. It's taking the honest off of us. All we gotta do is make sure it happens in the right way. That's it. And it's somebody else's fault.
Don't forget to sign the motion.
Okay,
We have a motion for adjournment, or no further business?
you wanna make that motion? Is there a second?
Just asking.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, thanks, everybody.
Thank you for your patience.
What you paying me for?